GreenTeaGuru.co.uk offers green tea, white tea, black tea, oolong tea, and we absolutely love pu'er tea, with offerings of Misty Peaks, Yunnan sourcing, Mung Hai, and Shaguan. We regularly visit Hong Kong and Guangdong, sourcing out very interesting and special cakes for your tea table. Green Tea Guru, based in UK with worldwide delivery.
Hey, this is Ollie from Green Tea Guru, and this is 90s loose Raw Puerh. Let's see what she tastes like. So guys, I know the lighting is absolutely terrible. It's a dark, I'd say winter's night. It's nearly winter here in the UK, and there's just no lighting at all. I do apologise. So I sourced this in Guangdong on my recent tea trip. I was told that this has had about 4 years Guangdong storage, 4 or 5 years. Extremely dark, and the aroma of the dry leaves is very sort of earthy, what you would expect in an extremely old tea. So it's a 90s pu'er, 90s raw pu'er. It's interesting because in those days gushu and single estate weren't really a thing. So most likely this is going to have some gushu in it, probably not a great deal. It could be a blend, or it could be from a single area. We don't have that information. Alright, so for the time being anyway, I've ditched my large Gaiwan. I know you guys are used to me having a massive Gaiwan, but I've really decided to go with these little mini Gaiwans. I think they are pretty cool, especially for, you know, single use or just testing out teas. So that's what we're going to do. Instead of doing just maybe 3 or 4 infusions with you guys, I'm going to whiz through a load, because I know this particular tea, when I was sitting down and buying this stuff, we probably went through about 25 plus infusions. It was still kicking out. A seriously good tea. So I don't know how many grams got in there, maybe 5, probably less than that, to be honest. What you can do when testing out these older teas is to drink the rinse or taste the rinse to give yourself a better idea as to how this tea has been kept. So let's go for the aroma. A fair bit of earth in there, okay? But not overly. It's not really super earthy, but it's definitely got that. Okay, so this is the wash. If this was being kept in Guangdong since the mid-90s, this would taste, well, if it was in a very wet stored area, it would taste very sort of murky and dirty. But it's, I mean, I could drink this, to be honest. It's fine. Fairly kind of, I wouldn't say, yeah, muted in flavour. But nothing untoward, nothing untoward. First infusion. Now that's a beautiful sort of copper, that colour. Sub 5 second infusions I'm doing. Very dark indeed for a raw. Just shows you its age. Let's do a quick close up on the first infusion. Okay, here's the wet leaves. So dark. And look at that. That earthiness is pretty apparent, but it's just not overbearing at all. Pretty smooth, pretty smooth. It's not really letting you know much about it right now for the first infusion. I mean, it's very easy going. You can just sling this back, to be honest. What I remember is that, you know, further into the infusions, probably infusion number 5 onwards, there was still a bitterness in the tea. Very, very low, but it's still there, and that indicates that this tea can still be aged further. Incredible, really. From the other tastings I've tried before of aged pu'er, I've had the wonderful opportunity of trying 70s, 80s and 90s raw pu'er. I would suggest that this 90s version is most likely a 95 or perhaps under. I mean, it may well have been kept in Guangdong a little bit longer than sort of 5 years, potentially, but if that were the case, it certainly wasn't in overly wet conditions, because this tea would be screaming at me right now with all those dank notes, which we're not getting. The tea is just getting darker and darker. I don't know what that smell is. Maybe a slight sort of pastry smell. Tiny bit of sweetness in there. But really what we're experiencing is the aged taste. So if you haven't tried an aged raw pu'er before, of course there'll be variants. You know, they're not all going to taste the same. But remember that people in Yunnan created ripe pu'er to assimilate what an aged pu'er tastes like. And in many respects, it is fairly similar to a ripe pu'er. So it's got that sort of earthy taste. Very smooth, very kind of, it's not bright and shouty, it's very relaxed and you can just chug it down. However, what they didn't manage to replicate in ripe pu'er was the slight complexities that you would notice in a raw. So already, I mean, this is the second infusion. It's got that deep kind of earth going on, but it's got some bold flavours wanting to poke up behind it. I can't quite work out what it is yet because we're so low on the infusions. And what I remembered when we were drinking this in Guangdong was further down the road we should notice very bold Chinese medicine taste is the only thing I can describe it as. I describe it as Chinese medicine taste because that is the standard name for that sort of taste. I don't even know what Chinese medicine tastes like, but I know what they're trying to say with the taste. And this is something that you can only really get in pretty old Sheng. 15 years onwards, I'd say. Maybe some kind of leather coming through. I wouldn't say this is an expressively complex tea at all. But what it is giving you is bounds and bounds and bounds of aged taste. Third infusion. It's almost as if the earth flavours are starting to sharpen up a bit now, getting a bit more expressive. Still very, very smooth. And it comes at a good price as well, because this is sitting at around about £20 for 100 grams. £20 for 100 grams. You know, that's the price of you can't even buy gushu at that price. I don't think. Well, you can just about buy gushu for £20 100 grams. So, you know, not too expensive. So if you've never tried a fully aged raw before, give it a go. I bought everything this guy had. He only had, I think, 3.5 kilos, so there isn't much here. So this will probably be around for less than a year and it will be gone. So, and it's interesting because, you know, I wasn't expecting this to pop up. I've dealt with this particular tea dealer before. I bought some tea and I came round again this time and I did my rounds and I came round to him and I bought a load of his tea. And I was just about to leave and he said, "Oh, you might be interested in this, check this out." And I said, "What is it?" "It's 90s Raw Puerh." "Yes, please, sign me up. I'll have a taste of that." Infusion number 4. So we sat down, we tried it. I did the various tests to make sure it wasn't shu. Just to let you guys know, if you're not sure if someone's trying to pass off some shu to you and they're saying it's sheng, Very simply, you grab one of the stalks. Let me try and find a stalk here. A stalk, I'll do a close-up in a minute. And you give it some flexibility. And if it breaks in two, then it's fully fermented, it's shu. But if it's bendy and flexible, like this, then it's sheng. So if ever you come across someone saying they've got some 40, 50-year-old sheng and would you like to buy it, do these little tests. So yeah, we tried the tea, very, very good. We got through 25 plus infusions. I said, how much have you got? 3.5 kilos. Well, I'll take what you've got. And this is kind of how it works sometimes, you know, when you're buying stuff. For these larger vendors, 3.5 kilos is not really enough to do business with. For me, yeah, sure. I mean, you know, I just love finding these treasures, bringing them back, doing a video and sharing it with you guys, to be honest. And also, when I found the Laos Malcha, the Gushu Malcha from Laos, the guy only had just over 2 kilos, or just under 2 kilos, I think. Around 2 kilo mark, but that's all we're talking about. That's all that was there. Great tea, great price. 2 kilos, yeah, I'll grab some. And when that comes through, by the way, make sure you try some. I mean, for the price point, just really, really good. Infusion number 4, it's not sort of plateauing. It's sort of going up very, very slowly. I'm doing 5-second infusions. And you know, we're infusion number 4, but you know, I could carry this on half a day, I think. Infusion number 5. I think actually, even if you're not a sheng person, you're a shu person, and hopefully you're watching this video because you're probably not, you should try an aged sheng pu'er, because it's going to be very similar to what you're loving in a shu, and really the original of what it's based on. You should try it out because, you know, you're not going to get any of those bright, shouty flavours that you don't like in a sheng. It's really not like that at all. So some slight bitterness coming out in infusion number 5, but it's so minor. It's just sort of a tingly sensation around the tongue. The earth is still there, it's still present. Feels like it's kind of coating the back of my throat, kind of. A bit of an odd sensation, I don't normally get that. It's nice. Infusion number 6. The leaves are still sort of clamped in, they're not really opened up. 7. Running out of things to say. Still kicking out that flavour. Quaffable, 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 quaffable. Leaves are starting to open up a bit. Infusion 8. It's getting richer, maybe a tiny bit of minerality. A lot of that aged taste. That earthiness is really sort of getting quite heavy. What I did, I brewed this for probably 10 seconds. I wanted to go a little bit harder. And yeah, just really stronger flavour. But I haven't used too much leaf, to be honest. Not a lot of leaf at all. Infusion number 9. These like this feel like they can just go on forever. Alright guys, so if you're unsure as to whether your tea is a shu or a sheng, tests like this will help. So here's a stalk. Try and do this properly. You see it's flexible. It's not really breaking apart. This means that it is a sheng. If this was a shu, i.e. a ripe tea, this will just be falling apart. Another close-up of the loose leaf. Infusion 10, still kicking out flavour, and it will do for another 10-15 infusions most likely. What I noticed last time is after infusion 18 to 20, it was calming down. It really was calming down, but that sort of dark aged taste was still there, a bit muted compared to previous infusions, of course. But no sign of slowing down, really. I mean, the broth is still going to be dark. and you can carry on if you wish. So guys, infusion number 10, I think I'm going to give it a rest now. So if you're interested in buying this tea, this is on the website right now. We have we probably have about 2.5 kilos left, so it's not going to be around forever. Grab yourself some, see what you feel about it, and leave us some reviews. Thank you very much for stopping by. Keep on cupping, people.